And welcome back to the IEM Katowice closed qualifiers here for the Southeast Asia region. My name is Jacob Derek Sosipenko, joined by Jordan Elfish Guy Mays, and we apologise for the delay, but we're back now looking at Recca, this time taking on Boot.
Yeah, definitely a match that has got some history to it. We've seen Boot and Recca play against each other quite extensively in the past. Of late, they haven't played against each other all that much because they've just been in different leagues and different seasons and different sides of the bracket and that kind of thing. But yeah, back in the day, they did used to go against each other because they were two of the top teams within the region. Obviously, Recca did fall off quite hard when they lost Ben, Ted and Execute. And they've been trying to rebuild. They've been trying to make things happen. I don't think they've necessarily been quite as impressive with this new roster with Asterisk and Eeyore. That core three coming through from Rosu, Frost, Misty and Sis. Still quite capable within this region, but they're never going to be anything particularly exciting internationally speaking if they were to qualify for international events. I don't think anyway. Boot Dreamscape on the other hand, again, we've already talked about them so far today. They still have also had some roster changes and that kind of thing, but I think they've got a little bit of a higher skill ceiling, higher potential than what Recca does actually provide to us. So in my mind, Boot Dreamscape is the better team in this matchup. But Recca had a good 2-0 earlier on in the bracket against Lucid Dream, which was surprising to me. I thought Lucid was going to be able to get the win there. So potentially some nice form today for Recca. We'll have to see how they go when we get in the server.
Yeah, but of course, on the side of Boot, we were talking about them a little bit earlier about how the leader definitely seems to be Splash Key now. Moxie had a better performance towards the later end, but Impression, I think, is someone else we should be looking at, especially coming into this matchup. Now, in terms of map pool, it seems like we are going to be starting on Cache there as well. Sorry, Cache.
Cache. I say Cache.
Oh, hang on, Cache. It is Cache. I keep forgetting which is right and which is wrong. But so a bit of a different map pool there as well, and we haven't seen Boot on this map as of yet.
No, yeah, look, I think Cache is obviously what you would expect to see when you get a Recca match. That typically tends to be the way that the map pool does play out. Good, I think, to see the nuke ban actually there from Recca, to be honest, because it's not a map that they're going to be too keen to go up against the Boot Dreamscape guys on. Interestingly enough, Boot Dreamscape have gone for the Inferno ban, which does leave Overpass open, but Recca doesn't really play too much Overpass, so unlikely that we'll see that in the pool. So Train is going to be the choice here by Boot Dreamscape. That's probably their best map on paper. I mean, aside from Nuke, I think that would be the best choice in this matchup. So fair enough. I like the two map choices from each team. Overpass, then the ban from Recca, which is great.
Curious.
It gives the chance for Boot Dreamscape to decide between Dust 2 and Mirage. Today they've gone for Dust 2. I think Mirage probably would have been reasonable enough for them as well. But this map pool actually could potentially end up going all the way to a third map as well, because Cache is a map that Boot Dreamscape, they don't tend to play it all that much. Like, it is a map that's in their pool and they will allow it through, but it's not one of their go-to. You know, it's not the Train, it's not the Nuke. So I definitely think that that's a map that maybe if Recca's having a good day today, they might be able to win on. That said, though, like, I generally, in this matchup, I would generally say like a 2-0 for Boot Dreamscape is what they should be aiming for, and I would continue with that train of thought. It's just my case of the fact that Boot Dreamscape are looking a little bit weaker today. They struggled a little bit there against Vindictive and against Recca, who have good performances so far today. Maybe they're hitting their shots, maybe they're doing well. I do think this could go to map 3.
Well, I mean, who knows? At this point, though, curious to see the Mirage ban after Boots did so well on it, especially against our other team. But I think this will be kind of a defining moment for them if we do get to Dust 2, because Dust has always been that map that kind of very rare parties will want to play. They'll either want to open with it or ban it away. So I think this kind of the defining moment. You know, are Boots still in form? Are they bringing everything towards this minor qualifying spot? Because starting off in Inferno, they didn't look too crash hot, but this is going to be different. This is not Vindicta. Sorry, so
just touching on the Mirage choice, the choice to veto the Mirage in favor of Dust 2. But I would say the reason for that is that Recca is just a little bit more comfortable on Mirage. They're definitely a team that we've seen quite a bit on Mirage. So Boot don't really want to take that chance. They'll decide to go for Dust 2, which can play out fairly similarly to Mirage. I'm sure we can see Boot Dreamscape do much the same on Dust 2 as what they did on Mirage. It's just going to be not as great of a map for Recca. So I think that's a good choice by Boot. And for Boot Dreamscape, starting off on CT side here of Cache. Not so easy. Definitely a 50-50 kind of a map, and always nice to start off on the T side after a bit of a break there, because you can get warmed up a little bit easier. It's not as restrictive or punishing to be on the T side, economically speaking, than it is being on the CT side. So it may take Boot Dreamscape a little while to get into this one if they don't start off with a pistol round here.
First time seeing Cache today as well, so we'll see if Boot Dreamscape, again, talking more about that form and their performance on Inferno maybe versus that of the Mirage, but we're going to see something a little bit different.
Solid steady stuff from Recca. They're not really deciding to do a whole lot. Really have set themselves up quite default, seeing if Boot is going to be pushing any areas of the map, looking for info. At the moment, Boot, well, they're not doing a whole lot. They're playing quite passive. Moxie has taken control of a main, which is nice. No real push and pull just yet from Recca. Normally, what would happen is the CTs would take control of one area of the map and the Ts would take control of another. At the moment, Recca don't really have control of any of the map that they wouldn't otherwise have control of anyway. So they're in squeaky, but Bobasaur's already started off nicely. As soon as he hears that door open, he's going to turn around, backed up well by his teammates there on the A-bomb side, and there you go. That's just the way the pistol round happens. When you don't take control of the map, and the CTs do, Boot Dreamscape's able to really just wipe the floor with them. Obviously, some really nice shots being hit there by Boot Dreamscape as well. Very crisp one taps with the USP is always what you want to be seeing on a pistol round like that. But Recca have got absolutely nothing done, and I wonder if that is going to be a bit of an insight into the future in this matchup.
Yeah, maybe a growing trend.
Last time I watched Boot Dreamscape and Recca play each other, it was on Train, actually, but it was a 16-0 to Boot Dreamscape, and definitely goes to show how one side of this match could be.
Yeah, one of their favourite maps, absolutely. For Boot Dreamscape, we haven't got there just yet, but if this is anything towards the Train massacre that has happened in the past.
Yeah, Splashky going to be just taking away the sole USP here. He hasn't decided to upgrade a gun, means he's looking for the AWP in the next round, assuming Boot Dreamscape do win here, which they most likely will. We've really seen Splashky get quite aggressive in terms of getting that AWP early. Like, he's shown the tendency to buy it in that third round. And why not? When you're the primary AWP, or when you are the star player really in a roster like this, and it's your job to win the game for your team, I think you might as well jump onto the AWP as fast as you possibly can.
Especially when the rest of the team having these consistent trends. Someone like Tommy, and last ditch effort here in this round, Recca, and push out. Last person spotted there as well. And Rose not much of a chance. Just going to be Splashy coming up behind.
Yeah. Rosu, by the way.
Ah, thank you so much.
The name. It is quite a difficult one.
I was going to say Rosie. I was going to say Roselle.
Yeah. Rose is probably the safest bet.
This is why I said Rose.
Yeah.
Jordan, you know.
Rose AU. He's a Rose from Australia.
Rose AU. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
All picked up now by Splashky. So expectations met once again. Tommy starting off with 5 kills once more. So definitely the player we've been watching. And although Bobasaur has been the person who, especially towards Mirage, was such a strong point of contention.
Bobasaur is not going to be much of a point of contention in this round in particular. Boost does come out from Boot, but the Molotov in there from Recca denies them that opportunity. Splashky now having to fall away, but B-bomb site looking a little bit worrisome here for Boot Dreamscape if Recca do bust out through the vent.
Big nay there as well. Onto, how do we say it again?
Rosu.
Rosu. I'll try and remember that. Smokes out. Frost Misty finds Splashky, so that might just open things up. Now the push coming through. Straight towards mid, but Rosu still hasn't made a move through the vents. It's been smoked out. Now dropping into checker, so this is it. Rosu straight onto site, but he hasn't looked straight ahead.
What is he looking at? Impression gets a free one there. It looks like Impression was watching B main, but in the end, the assault came from checkers. The fact was that Rosu was making so much noise, though, that Impression heard exactly what was going on. Now let's see what Recca decide to do, because what they should do is head over toward the A-bomb site. Tommy somehow gets another free one. Frost Misty just not landing his shots. And, well, Recca, they made the correct decision of going toward the A-bomb site, knowing both the players are on B, but
interesting molly there as well.
These Recca players not looking so sharp at the moment, and Boot Dreamscape certainly are.
Bob's gone down, but Tommy's coming up highway. He finds the shot instantly onto Super Sis, and Asterix, the last left alive in a 1v2. It's going to be a bit of trouble when Impression has AWP. And the push coming up once again from Tommy, who's picked up the AK.
Yeah, well, I'd be more so looking at Tommy here to close this one out than Impression, but Impression not really known for the AWP. Let's see what Tommy can do now in the 1v1 as Asterisk has taken the head off of Impression. He gets the 2v1. Good stuff in the end there, but perhaps too close for comfort. I don't think Recca should have let it get to that point to begin with, given the openings that they had. Well, Boot really was able to come back into that round a little bit more than they should have. Still, it's a good round win for Recca. Obviously going to put the money low for Boot here. And Impression's got no money because he's dropped the AWP over to Splashky, I have to imagine. So force buy actually out from Boot Dreamscape here. They know that the Recca economy is pretty low and they want to try and punish them for it. But this actually could put the Boot economy into a bit of disarray. It would have taken just the one eco for Boot to get a good buy through, but if they lose here, He'll be set back a little bit.
You're hoping not. You're just holding position still, nice and slow, nice and steady.
I mean, Recca may not be expecting this. You probably wouldn't be expecting a buy in the round like this. So if they kind of take the wrong angle and Splashkey is waiting there with the AWP, it could wreak havoc. But that is assuming that the information is not given before Recca decide to commit somewhere.
You have to think as well that for Recca, that last round came so close. Couple mistakes like that, and especially like a round like this.
I think if Impression would have had a rifle instead of the AWP, that retake would have actually been a lot easier for Boot Dreamscape.
Impression definitely not known for the AWP either, so
no
kind of credentials to go with it. Asterisk being very bold pushing up here on the other side. Rosiu, I've said it wrong anyway. Bulbasaur's has been taken down. And now the push through highway, but again, the ambition.
That's what I'm talking about.
Maybe just not the right timing. Asterisk as well will find Impression, so trades in across the map, but
Splashkey's rotating already though. He might actually get into this site before the smoke does bloom, which is going to be really nice if he can get out onto headshot. There's one though onto Sis, and the smoke blooms, but he's into headshot already. Splashkey's in a good position, but the player from Checkers should shut him down. Not going to happen. Splashkey still alive and kicking somehow on the B side. Just needs the one more. Didn't quite get it. Into the 2v2 now though for Boot Dreamscape to retake the site.
He's done enough though. A 2v2 is better than they could have hoped for with the early results from Recca. So Dreamscape now fighting to get this third round on their board. Both members on site, they haven't got good positionings around this B. And Tommy knows that, pushing straight in, gets information across, finds one, finds the other. Good teamwork there from Boot. And the bomb's going to be defused. That's a nice way to get back in.
Yeah. We've seen a few players picking up the AWP that were not primary AWPers, and so far it has not been great AWPing from those players. Splashkey, of course, was a standout in that round, getting 3 kills, and a really weird, awkward force buy for Boot Dreamscape does actually pay off. But every time someone else has had the AWP, Impression in that case, I think it might have been Frost Misty, the one that had the AWP in that post-plant situation for Recca. Whoever, the guys that aren't actually the primary AWPers for their respective rosters, when they have the AWP,
yeah.
In this case, yeah, like sometimes you can pick it up, sometimes you do well, but sometimes you're just not feeling it. And so far today, it has not been impressive from the non-primary AWPers, but definitely from Splashkey winning that round for his team, more or less. And now Recca base back onto the eco. And that was the objective for Boot Dreamscape. They saw that opportunity, they took it. Definitely a good start for Boot Dreamscape here, especially on Recca's own map as well. I sort of get the sense that Boot Dreamscape is going to be stomping all over Recca in this one if things continue the way that they have.
Surprised after what you saw from Boot before, you wouldn't just go for the Inferno pick. Maybe trying something a little bit more ambitious. They do find Tommy in the back side after that good flash, as you mentioned, but the cross going to come through from Maxi. Doesn't take too much damage, so they're getting away potentially unscathed, but with the cross through highway, they will end it up. It's only one gun out.
Yeah. When I said nice flash, it actually was not a nice flash at all. It was a team flash.
Oh, okay.
And that kind of could have potentially been why Tommy was maybe a little slow to react there to the player peeking out from the Shroud boost. But anyway, 4-2-1 Boot Dreamscape, you know, losing one gun there, not a big deal at all. They'll be able to start building the CT economy up, which it's not amazing just yet. You know, this round actually probably does reset them, but it's still looking pretty good. Looking very solid. Definitely more solid, I feel, here than what we actually saw in that first match, at least on Inferno against Vindictive.
Very different team, very different dynamic in Recca Esports as well. I mean, I keep forgetting the team. Vindicta.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Vindictive for some reason.
Yeah, that's what I said as well.
Yeah. Getting there.
Yeah,
it's a very different dynamic. Yeah.
The weird thing about Recca is, like, I don't necessarily feel like they have any star players, if that makes sense. Like, they're just a core 5 of pretty solid players, but they're not like, and no one seems to me to be able to really step up and carry the game. Like, we've seen it a little. But by and large, like, these players, individually speaking, can't hit the same peak level as some of the other players within the Asia region, and I think that's kind of what sets Recca apart. Like, when they had Bentet, when they had Execute, they did have that X factor, but I don't think Recca has the X factor anymore.
That's fair to say, especially when we're talking up members like Splashkey kind of taking over the core of the roster. Now from Recca, it's a full buy again, but Impression is here. They've pushed into B-bomb site, but everything's kind of gone wrong. It will be reciprocated as Rose comes in, but Moxie gets the trade-off. He'll see the mid-push there as well.
Moxie's just been such a pain on these rotations. The positions that he's been able to find, not just against Recca, but also earlier on against Vindicta, were very, very annoying, even especially on Nuke. He's really put his team in a winning position here once again. Splashkey with the AWP, just watching the line into the B bomb site from CT Spawn. Not seeing a whole lot just yet. It's mostly, again, going to be on Moxie here to be retaking this site, the one with the AK as opposed to the AWP. But Moxie's the one that so far has actually put his team into a strong position.
Good molly out as well. And Rose just has to push behind the smoke, which is shortly going to dissipate. There's an AWP up there in heaven. And Moxie's pushing in too. So Rose trying to play with time. Might have actually done enough here, but can't find the trade-off. So there will be a kit down.
That's incredibly sharp from Moxie. Definitely seems like he's having a good day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not necessarily in that first match, but in this second match so far, he has looked very solid indeed.
Definitely recovered.
5-1 for Boot Dreamscape. 6-1 for Moxie on the scoreboard. He's not even leading. 8-3 for Tommy. So I think it's looking pretty good for Dreamscape right now. Again, it'll be a reset to the Recca economy. That time, Recca, very, very nice take into the B bomb site, but they're not aware that Vent is dirty, and they were quite easily dispatched off by Moxie. Unluckily for Recca as well, it was the bomb that was kind of spotted and taken out in that position. Had the bomb already been in the bomb site, there was more of a chance that Recca gets it down and puts more pressure on the post plant. But Boot wasn't under any pressure at all in that scenario. Only until it came into the 2v1 when they were trying to retake the site did things start to go a little bit, oh, maybe there's a chance here for Recca. But, you know, obviously this round's sort of just falling by the wayside again. There's not much for Recca to be doing with just these pistols. They're getting shot through the smokes as well. So Boba saw an impression getting a good amount of work done in this round. And it's just poor old Asterisk left alive, 1v5.
He's not going to find too much, not able to take any guns off either, so...
He needs that magic potion.
When you consider that Recca 2-0'd Lucid Dream, you go, well, this team brought something special. And still waiting to see that something special here against Dreamscape. Because at the moment, it looks like another similar situation to the start of Mirage. Especially when Boot have their form. They're not stopped. They definitely do not feel like they're slowing down either.
Yeah, it can be tough to go from like a 2-0 like that and then you take an hour break. Like your momentum's completely gone. You're not warmed up anymore. You've cooled off quite extensively. Looking at how things played out, again, we didn't get to watch that match, but just looking at the stats, it was Frost, Misty and Rosu, the ones that were doing the heavy lifting. Sis was kind of chiming in there as well. So it is that core of the old Recca roster that has been stepping up, and that's what you look to step up. Great shot from Impression, though, as Frost Misty will drop, brings it back to a 4v4. So for Boot Dreamscape, if they're shutting down Rosu, Sis, and Frost Misty, I mean, I'm not expecting much out from Asterisk and Eeyore, to be honest.
Well, a couple of quick trades across the board, and even though there's, again, that word expectations on the back of Recca, still early days just yet. Boba's going to flash out, but means nothing at the moment. There's a slow push through mid. There's a 3 versus 4. A couple of quick trades across the board. But again, Boba just pops his head out. He'll find the 1-for-1. SYS. Sis is out there too. He'll find the pick on highway. Now where do they go?
Yeah, a lot of damage done though onto Sis and Rosu, and 1-for-1 from Bobasaur is fine. Unfortunately, Moxie can't really follow it up, but still back to a 2v2, which is reasonable enough for Boot Dreamscape, especially given the position here of Splashkey. He should get one for free, but just caught on the off timing, and Sis will get him. They decide to go toward B here. Would be the correct option. And Impression will have a bit of a task ahead of him here now. He's got himself an AK at the very least, rotating in through the vent. He'll know that that is broken, so he can get in quietly. And if he gets in quickly, might be able to find a 1v1 before the bomb does actually get planted. Looks like that's no longer an option now, though. And has to start making a bit of noise here. Ooh, this grenade could be big.
Doesn't find any, or actually finds a bit of damage, excuse me. So now, Rose is about a 1-shot. 2 bullets is all it's going to take from Impression. No one peeking out. Still sitting in headshot there, but Impression still biding his time. It's important here as well. Recca need this round, and Impression's going to decide against it.
He wants to save. He knows that he doesn't really have the money to rebuy. Like, he does have money to rebuy, but it's not necessarily the worst case here for Boot Dreamscape to just be saving. If he would have got the kill from the grenade onto Sis, which I thought is what he would have gotten, actually, from when he threw it, it would have been much, much better. But he's able to take an AWP through the next round. That can go over to Splashkey. Keeps the economy really healthy here for Boot Dreamscape, even though they have to reinvest into 4 weapons. So I think that's fine from Boot Dreamscape, fine from Impression. Unfortunately, he's not able to secure the 2v1 clutch. But in the end, it was always going to be difficult to try and cross that sort of no man's land between checkers and into the site. up against a two-man crossfire. Even still, but Dreamscape, they're up 6-2, so they're really well positioned to run away with this half. Just reset this round, get the kills onto Recca, and then they're back onto an eco straight away. So you're sort of just putting them back to square one again.
Bending on this B as well. I mean, it's always been slow mid through vents. There hasn't been any real big move here from Recca Esports. Kind of feels like we're getting a rinse and repeat of Vindicta at certain moments as well. So Flash will go out, but there's no real move. Just trying to fake it at the moment. Splashkey sitting B with this AWP. And it's a good nade actually on Sis. What I call him before, SYS.
SYS, yeah.
We all learn. Looks like A's the go.
Yeah, Tommy with a chance here. Is there going to be a pop flash for him? Doesn't look like it. Oh, there it is. He's going to decide to take the peek off the back of it. Recca were very well aware of it, playing anti-flash. And they're able to shut down Tommy, which puts a bit of a job on the shoulders of Moxie now.
Smokes are out as well, so Moxie's kind of out of action. Bobo as well. Asterik boosts himself up. At least Bobo finds one. Finds a second as well. Still holding sight strong. This is given time to boot. On the back of sight, they don't spot Moxie. He hasn't shot just yet either. They're going to go and get the bomb. He's playing cautiously. The plant is down. Moxie now decides to fire. And that was some very patient play. Now he has to find the other two kills. 12% on one. The other's down, and Moxie played that round on Recca Esports.
Yeah, well, not only Moxie, but Bulbasaur stepping up huge to begin with. Thought he would die to Asterisk for sure, but in the end, he's able to get the flick working. Then Moxie, Balls of Steel, just sitting in the corner, biding his time. He has to eventually deny that bomb plant. Looked for some more info, and inevitably he got it, in that he didn't get more info. But he would have loved to have seen one or two more players there. Still, closest the round out with a 3K. Big individual play there from Moxie. Definitely having a good time here on Cache. And this map is starting to fall a little bit too heavily in the side of Boot Dreamscape. Recca need to do something, and they need to do something fast.
It's like one round breaking the confidence again. And it's Boot to do it. So 7-2, this round's going to be taken.
Yeah. And Frost Misty's got no money. I'm not sure how he's only got 750 here, but that's really unfortunate for Recca. Means the next buy in the next round is not going to be too great at all. Things are just not looking too great for Recca in general. None of that pizzazz, I guess, that they needed against Lucid to beat them.
I was very curious in the last round, because I'm not sure who it was who was going to plant the bomb, but they ran into they thought they ran into the back wall. Because I'm pretty sure there was some contact there, actually running into Moxie. I'd love to.
I don't think there was. I'm not sure though. We'd have to have a look.
It was close, and I felt like he thought he ran into the back wall. So either way, at this point, you start saying that okay, Moxie's really kind of finding his place, his momentum in this team.
Yep.
And Bulbasaur as well.
Definitely good to see, because I always felt as though Cache was the playground of Winter, one of the former members of Boot Dreamscape. He liked to play in mid and really did have a good impact. No longer with the roster, but Moxie able to do much the same here by the looks of things, although over on the A-bomb site more than anything else. It's Moxie again to find a couple. This is more just stat padding, mopping up against the eco. But Moxie's up to 12-2 now. That's definitely a KD that you'd be happy with at this point. Will be another buy for Recca, but like I was talking about, Frost Misty, he had no money. I don't know what's happened to it, but his money's absolutely cooked. So he'll have to take pistol arm around this time. Bit of utility. Hoping the rest of his teammates can carry that.
But it's one player that could just let down the entire team at this point for Recca. So fall with a full buy. If Frost Misty goes down, it's not the end of the world. But they'll go for a harder push on A this time. Silent through Squeaky. And Tommy waiting here at the back of site. Two members of Boot sitting at 8. And Boba's just going to be holding 4. 3 members going to push out. Doing it now. Boba's found the end of it as well. Picks out an incendiary. Probably wrong timing for that.
Yep.
Successful breach there from Recca. They've controlled site. Moxie can't get a kill on the back end as well. So this round looking pretty good for Recca. As the bomb goes down and 2 members left remaining.
Yeah, looks like they're going to try and see what they can get, but I'm not sure how hard Boot actually are going to contest this retake. Trying to see if they can find themselves a free kill. If it's 4v2 though, you're not going to be too keen on doing it. But now with that kill, they can start to push forward. A lot of time still to play with, half of it to go. Impression needs to open things up here. I'll get another player at quad. And Splashkey finds Asterisk. It's a 1v2 now here for Frost Misty. Impression defusing in the smoke.
Now it's up to the orb. The last shot doesn't come through, but Impression has stuck to the defuse. So Boot will take the round again against all odds. A 4v2 turns fast.
A 4v2 retake. And the reason for that is because they find the kill on the player, jumping up on the forklift. That was a 4v2 turn straight away into a 3v2. When you get it into a 3v2, you're starting to feel, okay, this is a little bit more doable. I think if Recca just plays passively there in the 4v2, they don't need to do anything. That puts a bit more doubt in the mind of Dreamscape. They think, okay, well, we can probably just save a little bit here. We can take these guns through the next round. But no, they up 9-2. Things are looking fantastic for Dreamscape. As soon as they get that kill, they really commit to the retake. They make it work, hit some really nice shots. Splashkey inevitably misses one into main, but by then the damage is done. And Boot Dreamscape, they come away with a round. And, well, Recca, it goes from bad to worse, doesn't it?
You can see just by Splashkey jumping down, you see the confidence coming through now from Boot, and they know that this is their map to lose. So confidence once again, and Recca, they're going to be able to take one, but disrupting the economy a little bit hard at the moment. Moxie will go down, so it becomes a little bit more realistic, but Impression sitting in checkers, and there should be a cross into vents, maybe just a peek out. It's a 2 versus 2, so Jordan, maybe this round doesn't have to be salvageable. It's more about winnable for Recca.
No, I don't think so.
Never
Tommy
mind.
in a great position to shut that one down, and probably even going to spot the next player out. That's Frost Misty with barely any HP at all. With 50 seconds, he does have time to play with, but he has to spend, 20 seconds here to go and collect the bomb. And by that stage, he more or less has to just run into one of the bomb sites if he wants to actually try and make this a round win. And at the moment, Boot Dreamscape starting to just link up, make sure that they can play it out as 2v1 instead of 2 1v1s. Tommy knows now, though, that there's no one on the side, and with this timer, Frost Misty's not going to have time to check all of the angles, so he's going to play a little more aggressively here.
20 seconds running out of time. He's going to push on site. Hasn't checked up just yet, and he misses the check as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't check every angle at the end of the day, so it'll be 10-2 for Boot Dreamscape, and no problems here at all for them. Recca going to have to buy again into the round, but at this stage, it doesn't really seem to matter too much. Once you hit, even once you hit 9 in the first half of Case, you're feeling pretty happy, because a lot of the time it's going to be an 8-7 map, regardless of which side actually comes out with the advantage into the second half. But 10 is phenomenal, and there's even a chance for Boot Dreamscape to go further than that. This is disastrous, really, for Recca on their own map.
Well, they need to salvage what they can. There's 5 AKs on the side of Recca. It's a flash, but Splashkey's still there. Gets a bit of damage off before he has to retreat. Impression covers it with the spray, and that small gap in the smoke once again.
Some of these CT utilities not working out too well. Another pop flash into a teammate. When all said and done, though, no one gets taken down. Splashkey will drop a nice sharp shot from Rozu.
So, opportunity, but Impression shuts it down once again. He'll pick up the AWP, and maybe not, thinks otherwise.
I think that's the right decision, swapping it back.
Asterix is pushing up. No. He's going to send the AWP outward.
He's ferrying it over to Moxie, which is fair enough. Just want to make sure that Recca don't pick it up.
Going to see Asterix in a second. He's quite low. But waiting for the rotation to come through now. Sis thinking about it. But on the other side, he's got other things to deal with. Impression eventually finds Asterix. Frost Misty goes down as well by Tommy. And the round just like that comes to a almost crushing close. The breach onto A, now the last mission here for Recca Esports. They find Tommy on the back of site, but Moxie coming in with the AWP.
Yeah, so close. He can just deny the bomb plant so easily from here as well. There it is. Sis goes down. Bobasaur on the flank. Easy done from Boot. They're just dictating this game so much better than what Recca is able to do at the moment. Recca's always playing catch-up. They're always trying to rotate into a site very, very late, not giving themselves enough time to check enough angles, and Boot are reaping the rewards of the hard work that they did in the early stages of this first half. Now heading into the late stages of this first half, they're really just able to kind of run around and have a bit of deathmatch.
I think reaping the rewards of their very first game of today. It's just been an up and up from here. So for Boot, maybe their return to form, maybe finding more of their place here.
Could be fleeting.
In the qualifiers. Well,
I'm not ready to say they've returned to form just yet. I want to see how they go throughout the rest of the qualifiers. So this is going to go ahead and grab one onto Bobasaur, and Tommy's really in a bad position here. Needs some backup, and quickly. Moxie might be the difference, though. Hiding behind this smoke, they've got no idea, and he'll spray down 2, one of whom is the bomb. Impression on the rotation as well, starting to get involved here, but Moxie will be again the hero for Boot Dreamscape. He chimes away with a third, not quite the fourth, but it is just, once again, Frost Misty alone. Somehow, this has gone down to a 1v1, bombing the control of Splashki, though, and Frost Misty is on a very long rotate into short.
Looks like such a good rotation, sorry, such a good push there from Recca to get onto A.
Oh, might have actually played Splashki here, Frost Misty.
He sees just the tip of him.
Oh, no! That's not what you want.
It's definitely not. Now Splashy going to look for the rotation or maybe just play the patience game. This gives an opportunity for Boot to kind of secure this round.
Every second that ticks away is a second that's favourable right now for Splashki. Sooner or later, Frost Misty is going to have to make that cross. Splashki's got no idea where he is, and he's expecting him maybe from main. But just checks in time, and Splashki, well, did we ever doubt him?
A little bit.
Frost Misty's going to be kicking himself, though, because that was a kill on a silver platter. It was a round available to him, but end of the day, nothing's working for Recca at this point.
Would have evened the score a little bit for Recca moving into this half, but 12-2, final round of this half. And
probably 13-2.
Either way you look at this right now, things are not looking great for Recca Esports.
No.
But for Boot, the story of their redemption from their very first map today, I'll say it over and over if I have to. Couple of smokes out. Recca want to take this round at the very least. But the peek here from Impression, he'll deny away from the flash. Eventually gets done by the second. The push is already there, but Splashki there to cover it now. Impression gets the rest and 2 kills down immediately. It's Recca Esports already down on the round.
That's the kind of thing where it really shouldn't work out that way, but it does. Splashki backing up Impression very, very nicely. Tommy with a bit of a push there that he doesn't need to be going for. Actually gives away a kill to Eeyore, brings it back to a 2v2. That said, Boot Dreamscape have been very good in the 2v2s, and, well, Frost Misty making so much noise there. Makes an easy kill for Moxie. Now 1v2 for Eeyore. Incendiary and a smoke available for Moxie. Definitely a very doable retake for Dreamscape.
1v2. Eeyore just needs this for Recca Esports right now. Open AK versus M4. At this point, Eeyore, I mean, he's 4-14. You're hoping for a lot more.
Uh-oh.
Molly's going to go down, and that's just going to force him out. So that's the round done, or the half done, excuse me, with Recca Esports 2-13.
Yeah.
And Boot Dreamscape. Look, Jordan, you may not be willing to bet everything on them, but I can tell you right now, they're looking fine here and looking in good contention to move up closer towards that qualification match.
Yeah, definitely. A win here would actually put them into the upper bracket final, which is really where we expect to see a team of Boot Dreamscape's caliber. I think at this point, you know, Cage seems to be a bit of a write-off right now for Recca, which is unfortunate because it is their own map choice. So if they're not able to do a whole lot here on Cache, we move on to Train. I don't think Train's going to be good at all for Recca. You know, past history would say that it's not a map really that they tend to favor. Definitely a very, very strong map for Boot. If you can think of one map you would associate with Boot, it would be probably Train. And, you know, last time I said these teams played against each other, it was a 16-0 Boot. So I guess there's a lot to learn there for Recca from that match. But I don't know that you'd be particularly confident heading into that second map here. If this goes the way of Boot Dreamscape, which it looks like it is, if it goes convincingly the way of Boot Dreamscape, I would assume we're in for much the same on Train, and Recca may be facing a position in the lower bracket.
Well, pistol round will just seal the deal nice and early. And it's going to be the hard B push, one lurking mid, but Recca Esports, do they know what they're up for? There's 3 stacked here. They've already found the first kill, but good early trades in check as Moxie's happy to take the 1v1, wins it out. But Frost Misty and Eeyore find a couple of early picks, and now Moxie's left by his lonesome. It's a 1 versus 3, so the pistol round slows everything down, and it's now up to Moxie to hold strong. 1 heaven, 1 in the back of sight. I'm calling it out for him.
Yeah, but in the end, Eeyore will shut Moxie down. It always seems to be the way, doesn't it? Like, if a team's up 13-2, they never seem to be able to win that pistol, I find. And this is going to give Recca a small way back in. Boot Dreamscape, obviously, they don't get the bomb down there, so what they do want to do in this round is try and get the bomb down, which will give them that extra utility in the first gun round. Regardless, though, it's a case where Boot Dreamscape have got so much time to play with that they're not even concerned about losing that pistol at all.
Well, we're just going to push him straight away anyway. SYS, having the time of his life. At least he'll get 1 gun out.
Yeah, that's what you want.
A quick way to the run.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't mind that from Boot. Just get it over and done with. No one wants to see an anti-eco like that anyway. AKs and armor coming out here, always good to see. A little bit of utility, not quite there for Bulbasaur, Impression, and Splashkey, but generally speaking, they've actually got a decent amount available to them, and it'll be the bonus round out for Recca here as well. So they've taken the FAMAS, they've taken the MP9s through, which does mean the buy is a little bit weaker here, but it allows them a buy in the next round anyway.
Also the Org on the board as well for Recca, so good to see. It's finding himself a couple again.
Good trade for Bulbasaur.
Push aggressive through here from Boot Dreamscape. Eeyore does find one trade-off once more, so good couple of kills. Rose trying to challenge here with the MP9. Doesn't have the range battle, but looks to at least put some damage down. And for Recca Esports, trying to get back onto site.
Yeah, it's a struggle right now for Boot. Bomb has at least crossed, but Impression can't safely get it down at the moment, so Boot need to try and find another kill here or there. Moxie, the catalyst of it, probably, because he's the one with a bit of extra HP to play with.
Just waiting for that peak on Highway, though. That's all he's doing at the moment. Impression going to go towards back of sight right now. Recca. They've already lost one. So Moxie, crucial as you said. He'll jump back down but be spotted straight away. And Impression trying to play with time. Gets defeated in the back of quad. And
close for Impression. You could see what he was trying to do, trying to isolate those 1v1s. And in a sense he did. But he just didn't hit the headshot. And that's what you need to do when you're on 20 HP. That's why he's tapping away instead of trying to take that spray battle. Because he knows that he'll lose the spray battle. In the end, unfortunate I guess for Boot Dreamscape. But that's what happens when you try to play a little bit faster. I think in the next gun round for Boot Dreamscape, what they want to do probably is just slow things down a little bit. It is going to be another force buy out from Boot here. This one means that they have pretty much bugger all utility, actually. They've got 3 smokes and a flashbang and the decoy, barely even worth mentioning. So I guess there is a chance that we actually see Boot play pretty quickly again here because they don't have the utility to play with. And how Impression wins that aim battle is absolutely beyond me.
Well, he won it anyway. That's all that matters. And you said, look, playing quickly, well, spread out a little bit more, not just going to rush towards that A site.
Yeah, well, now they can kind of play that pick and split gameplay because it's only 4 players left alive right now for Recca. They're going to be under a lot more pressure to find some information or do something, make a play, which Boot can definitely take advantage of.
Tommy actually taken down quite low on the other side of the map. Eeyore peeks out, finds Bulbasaur. Another good pick there for Recca. Instantly becomes a 4 versus 4. No interest towards the A site right now. Looks like the rotation will be towards B. Tommy is a nuisance and continues to be so.
There's another good shot from Impression. As Frost Misty will fall. B bomb site is going to be defended though by Recca, but it's maybe just Eeyore.
It's going to be spotted out as well. It's going to be another one for Boot. So looking towards that round 15 as a potential. Still plenty of money to buy with for Recca Esports, but
not much.
If they lose this one,
it's not much actually. Got 2,500 on each of them, which really is going to get you a pistol armor and a bit of utility. Not enough for the rifles. Frost Misty had a bit, but that's it. So it'll be a save-ish round here from Recca. They'll play for overtime. Timing shot here for Splashkey. A minute 49 is where you want to throw that one out. Not going to occur this time, but can hit the players running out from CT spawn with a shot like that. Always nice when you do, because you start the round off essentially 4v5.
I think for Boot as well, securing this first map will mean quite a lot for them moving forward. As we were talking about before for Train, it's been a domination in the past. It's not over yet, but that's a positive side of me. Recca, they've taken down Moxie, but again, it's going to be pretty much it. At this point, we start looking towards Train and realistically start talking about, you know, the way back in for Recca Esports.
I don't think there is a way back in if they lose Hero and Cache. I mean, obviously, you're never out of it 100%. It's never going to be a sure thing for Boot Dreamscape. But I think as far as this matchup is concerned, it is as close of a sure thing as it can be, really. Splashkey having a pretty good day with the AWP. Train being a very, very AWP-centric map. Splashkey really likes to play on Train as well. We see him do a lot of crazy things on that map, and now it seems that the rest of the Boot Dreamscape players are really hitting their stride as well. I just don't see the way back in here for Recca. Like, what do you do? Sure, you can say, okay, we need to shut down Splashkey, or we need to make sure that Boot Dreamscape don't get off to a good start on the T side of Train. We want to build our own CT economy up, you know, that kind of thing. It isn't so easy as just what I'm saying. Like, I don't know that Recca can actually do this. I don't think that they have it within them, particularly given how one-sided and easy it has looked for Boot Dreamscape on Recca's map.
Well, then it couldn't be a last hurrah here for Recca Esports, and especially the last round. The potential for Frost Misty, he shows it immediately onto Impression. The flash is out, but still looking for the push here onto the B bomb site. It's Boot. Asterisk pushes up. The aggression coming through now from Recca Esports. A good hold. They've only lost one, and that's Rose.
Yeah, but it's been a bit of a weird push out from Dreamscape. Kind of a little bit uncoordinated in that they've gone in at sort of separate times, one by one, and that's always not a great idea. Recca able to deal with that accordingly. So Dreamscape will rotate their way back up to A and try and find themselves a 3v2. Looks like Recca's reading the situation relatively okay as they have rotated back up already.
Smokes out as well, but it's not going to stop Forklift with Sis standing there. Cleaned up the crossfire, easy there
Good
from
crossfire.
Recca Esports.
Yep. It's not enough to break the bank for Boot, though. They'll have AKs, armor, utility, really whatever they want, apart from poor old Moxie. At this point, I think if you haven't got an AK for Moxie, oh, it looks like there's one on the ground. He'll be able to pick it up. I was going to say someone should throw one over, but they did.
Good on. Well, Recca Esports, if they want any chance to put up a battle on Train or even bring this one back, it's definitely got to start now. Moxie will be picked out by Frost Misty once again. Rose finds Tommy as 2, so...
All right, don't do this to me, Dreamscape.
It's a bit of back and forth here. Recca, many more rounds needed, but definitely a good start.
I think they just need to slow down. They're trying to take aim battles where they don't need to be. Try to use some of that utility in the back pocket instead of just running blindly into 1v1s. Giving the chance to Recca. Next round will be an eco for Boot. And then they'll come back in with really everything available to them. Bobasaur now trying his hand with the AWP. Like not quite quick enough.
Maybe you shouldn't have an AWP.
Not sure what the purpose of that smoke is.
Well, it's a peeking smoke again.
It's not a...
Elfish?
You don't want to do that, though.
Well, what have we seen in the past 3 maps? We've seen some very strange, well, not strange, but tactically induced smokes. I think Mirage was a good example.
Don't know that they'll check Sunroom here. Yeah, you won't. There's not really much time available to Boot Dreamscape, so they're just going to have to go ahead and assume that Asterisk is not there. Unfortunately, that is going to be an incorrect assumption.
They do find Frost Misty up in heaven, though. Asterisk's going to push out now, but...
He's so close. Bobasaur surely isn't going to survive here.
No. Asterisk finds one. The second one's there as well, this time from Super Sis, so...
Yeah, they weren't expecting a player that close. So another round will go the way of Recca. Boot going to save here. I hope.
Curious about that Lucid Dream game. Because the difference between Boot and Recca right now, you have to say, well, despite the past couple of rounds, is quite vast.
Yep.
I think it raises a lot of questions if Lucid Dream were maybe having a bit of a Boot Inferno game.
For 2 maps, though, I don't know about that.
Well, interesting enough. For Boot, still unable to close this one out. Moxie's just been dropped again, remember?
Lucid was playing with a sub. They were missing Niffy. Niffy, generally one of the stronger performers on the roster. Not that it necessarily excuses losing 2-0.
But still, feels like there's some kind of excuse.
I mean, unless this person called Obi is also Niffy, but I don't think that that is the case. Obi may be their coach or something.
Yeah.
It says on HLTV that he's 30 years old, so... Not sure.
So
anyway, that round a bit of a nothing one. Obviously, pistols out for the boys for Boot Dreamscape. This is the round where they want to get it done, though.
Up onto Rose. So, if it doesn't end here, then we start thinking that Recca might be back in contention.
Yeah,
to a
maybe.
degree.
I don't know. I don't think I'll be thinking that really until they get to maybe 13, 12, 13. And even then, like, Boot just gets so much time. They just got so many rounds. Just one, all it takes is one mistake from Recca. So, you're standing on a knife's edge.
Like Sis here. Just taking a bit of damage through the smoke. He's going to peek out again. Yeah, Boba actually saw that.
He did.
So doesn't
Couldn't
need to do
decide not
anything
to
just
go
yet.
again.
Gets boosted up. He's going to go for the smoke. And right below boost, Eeyore standing there. Just waiting. You used to watch Winnie the Pooh.
I did. I actually watched the live-action Winnie the Pooh movie.
Was it worth it?
It was pretty good.
What about going to see that? Eeyore's just been taken down. So Moxie finds one. Frost Misty, bit of damage as well. Look at the flick up from Rose. He's keeping them in this round. He misses a second shot. Gets a point-blank no-scope.
Yeah, that was bad trading from Dreamscape. Needed to be faster on that, but it doesn't seem like it will matter. The A bomb site has been cracked open right now. Tommy and Splashkey to hold off the 2v2. Asterisk and Frost Misty do have a bit of utility. Splashkey almost caught on the timing here. I don't know that he is going to be aware of the position of Asterisk, though. He is having a look now. Well, this is dangerous if Splashkey turns away, which he does. Worst possible time. So unfortunate for Splashkey there, but Tommy still can win this 1v2. He's found the 1v1. Now just needs one more.
Knows exactly where the last member is as well. It's going to give him an advantage. Right time, right place there for Tommy. And just like that, Boot pick up the very first map. And Cash was looking absolutely dominant. A couple of rounds go over, but in the end, I still think dominant's the right word to use.
Yeah, definitely. My hair's kind of gone all crazy. I think that's how strange that match was.
Probably how Recca feels.
It's gone everywhere. Yeah, Recca's probably feeling exactly like that. They're like, a grenade's blown up in their face. Like, what on earth happened there? That was our map choice. We just lost something like 16, what? 8?
16-8.
16-8, 16-9.
Didn't feel like a 16-8.
Probably could have been a 16-5. Yeah, it probably could have even been more one-sided.
Probably could have been a 16-4, 16-3.
Yeah. In the end, Boot gave him a little bit of leeway, but it didn't really matter. You know, the advantage was far too great, and Boot Dreamscape, they were always going to get it done. It was just a matter of time. So, all in all, you have to be pretty impressed with that for Boot Dreamscape. Now looking to their next map of Train, everything's looking pretty peachy right now for Boot.
Yeah,
and in my mind, it's a 2-0.
And we're going to ask a lot of questions about Train when we come up. Another 16-0. Who knows? Is it in the cards? We're going to have a very short break, but when we return, map number 2, moving on to Train with Recca taking on Bootscape.